Continuity is the actor's repetition. Continuity is an uninterrupted performance. That means that from the beginning of the performance, if it's continued and if you're going from one scene to another scene, the performance continues and is not interrupted. It's not interrupted by your costumes or your props or your emotion. It's funny when we watch a film and somebody's leaving with no emotion, they enter with more emotion and it takes you out. Or there is a lot of emotion, they enter with no emotion. Again, it takes you out. You want to try to match that emotional level so that it's not, you're not going to feel detached from the performance. There's so many aspects of continuity. Continuity is important because if an audience is taken out at any time, it takes away your believability. And they may not understand why they're not as connected to you, but it's little things like that that can take away from your performance. Another thing is in the edit. Like if you move on a certain line every time, and then when you're in your close-up, you don't move on that line, you might lose your close-up because that movement isn't tied or connected to the performance. So you want to repeat physical behavior. Physical behavior is very important. Many times, in a master shot, that means a very wide shot, you can't see the emotion as much. You can't see tears. They're not as visible. And so sometimes I'll tell an actor to save the tears for the close-up so they don't run out of their emotion. That's really important. So when it comes to tears, it's more important for the close-up, not as important for the master. And so tears they're never expected to be matched all the way through. But what is expected to be matched is movement. And I've seen so many celebrity actors do this effortlessly. So if you have a problem matching, work on that. Like hitting, coming up to in your blocking, come up with the same leg, lean on the same foot, connect so that you're in your shot. There's always funny spoofs I remember on Saturday Night Live, a funny spoof where the actor always moves off center, so they're like off from their spot, and it's so funny when in the most dramatic moment of the close-up, they're not even in their shot. And so it becomes a comical thing, and it's hard on your cameraman because sometimes your camera's locked and you're supposed to step right into that close-up. So that's part of continuity as well, as knowing how to move, where to move, and when to move according to the dialogue, because it's the lines that dictate where the movement goes. You're going to be moving on a line or on a word or a certain word that you're always moving on. I've worked on projects where an actor moves inconsistently. They'll move on one line and then sometimes they move on the other word, and then it's very difficult to cut and match the shots. And so I've seen actors lose close-ups or important acting moments because their movement wasn't on the word that they had consistently moved on in their master or in their three-quarter or cowboy shot. And when we get to the close-up, they've moved on a different word and it just doesn't cut. So if you want to end up not on the cutting room floor, if you want to be more in the film, practice continuity because it really helps your camera person, it helps your editor. And also, another thing that's really important is staying in character. Because if you're not continuously in character, the editor will notice it and they won't use that footage. And so your continuity also is demanding you to stay in character throughout the scene and focused and connected to the role. There's so many important aspects of continuity that I wrote an article about it. It's in Casting Frontier. I will hopefully have the link or a link to that in my newsletter or down below. Every art form requires repetition. The dancer repeats the combination over and over again and performs the combination. The singer sings a song many times to different audiences, the same song. Of course, genuinely coming and refreshing and making it new and vibrant. The artist creates and continuously examines the same subject. The musician plays the same notes over and over again. And for the actor, continuity is the actor's repetition. Take the journey and please subscribe. Hi, I'm Kimberly Jensen. I am honored to have you here watching my YouTube channel. Please subscribe.